along those lines. But these lawyers pay a lot for this research to come in. And that made me think this is an example of AI arbitrage. Because if you can set up a research chatbot or a research agent, then you no longer have to outsource that research. But that gets tricky because, especially in that field, you definitely want the answers to come back correct. There's already been a ton of cases where lawyers cite actual cases that never existed and the judge called them out on it, or they got a malpractice suit. So, but that is an example of it. Is as a business, start looking at what you're paying for a website development team. Do you need to pay $10,000 for a team to develop your website? Or do you use Cloud Code to develop the website? There's two different views to AI arbitrage. You either find ways to cut your costs as a business, or you find ways to sell it to business. And the main idea behind this concept is it is all about price differences. And it's been around for a really long time. And Nate B. Jones, great YouTuber, actually has a video on this if you guys want to check that out. He does a great job of explaining it. So the traditional definition of this word is all about price differences. For example, if something is cheaper in one market and more expensive in another, then someone can profit from that gap. It's not exactly the same, but the business logic is similar. There is a gap between what a business is willing to pay for an outcome and what it now costs to deliver that outcome using AI assisted workflows. So an example of this is a small business might pay someone for monthly content, customer follow-up, report summaries, lead qualification, or admin cleanup. You can build a workflow where AI handles the draft, organization, routing, or first pass analysis, and you handle the setup and quality control. Your delivery cost then drops. And that gap between someone doing it monthly and how much you can now do it with AI is the arbitrage. And that goes again for both views. If you're a business outsourcing this, now you can take that in and now you get that revenue back. But if you are looking to sell this, then you can pretty much look at small businesses or businesses and look at what they pay for. And if you see somebody that, like I said earlier, is doing research and you can then do it faster, easier, and still have that quality there and reduce the cost, then you sell on that new cost change. So if somebody is paying this company $500 a month, but you can do it at pretty much the same level, you can sell it at $250 if it takes you less time and your cost of doing it is lower. And what is nice about this is you're no longer having to pretty much brainstorm new ideas to use it. You just are piggybacking off of an industry already. Which it does sound sketchy, but the legitimate version just means choosing an industry that already has a demand. And you are not inventing a new need from scratch. You are already looking for places where small businesses already spend money or lose money. Some more examples: dental clinics that miss calls or lose follow-up appointments, contractors that take too long on estimates, accountants that need clients organized, realtors that need listing descriptions and lead follow-up, local service business needs reviews, queues, and customer messaging. And that is why niche matters. So generic AI services are hard to sell because it becomes so vague, and it is hard to sell them on a service that they don't really understand. So if you pick one of these topics that they already pay for, then it's an easier sell. This all sounds easy and I could pick this up and do it the next day. But the real skill is in the actual implementation. And that is choosing the workflow, understanding the industry that you're in, protecting sensitive data, setting up the tool, testing the output, creating a handoff process, and making sure the business can actually use it. So you can easily come up with a ton of ideas, but actually having the skill to successfully hit all of these topics is where it becomes not just an easy startup idea. In terms of that, the person or the team that has the advantage or the view is the small business owner, because they're already paying for this or paying somebody to do this. So they know the workflow, they know the industry, they know all of the details. They just have to find a way to implement AI, which AI is not that hard to implement. So it's very easy for these businesses to actually do it, or they can hire somebody to come in and actually audit their workflows, or have them specifically work on a process that they know that works, and just then they are the judges. But as a person that's selling it, you have to convince the person or the business that you're selling it to that the industry, all the things, you know what the output they need is. And so that could be a little bit more of a tough sell. The strongest objection to this isn't this just repackaging AI and then charging that output or charging people for it. Sometimes yes, and that version is weak. That argument is weak. So say if someone is selling blog posts, social captions, or reports that are just copied out of ChatGPT with no strategy, no review, and no real business value, that is not much of a business. But if someone uses AI to build a better workflow, reduce response time, organize information, create useful drafts, or help a team save hours, then that is different. The value is the implementation. It's using all of those different categories that I gave you above and implementing it and actually having it save time or produce good answers. You don't want someone to come in and create you a voice chat bot to replace a customer service agent, and then it just fails to actually get the client to sign on or fails to funnel them through your pipeline. And again, if you are just putting it into a custom GPT that you use AI to make and you not any of your real business or experience to it, then that's pretty much something the client could do themselves or something the business owner can do themselves. So that is what business owners need to watch out for, is really test the experience that the person has. And it's really hard because you have to decide whether this guy is just going to type in AI your business and just give it a short prompt and then have it create this for it, because then you get a generic one that is not really going to give you the results you want. That is where it becomes tricky. I would say the first goal, if you're a business owner, is try and make it yourself, or at least understand your output enough. So if somebody's trying to sell it to you, then ask them to test it and see how it compares to the output you want from it. And then you also have to see if they're protecting your data. Overall, if you understand the process, build the workflow, protect the data, improve the output, and make it usable, that can be real, whether you are a business or if you are trying to start a business. So here are some ideas that I would actually look at, whether you are a small business or you are looking to start a business. So the first one is a missed call follow-up for a local service business, which basically AI just helps draft or route follow-ups after calls or forms come in. Client document intake for accountants or consultants, estimate follow-ups for contractors, and knowledge base setup for small teams, review, response, and customer feedback summaries. So the pattern is the same. Pretty much find a workflow that already costs time or money, reduce the manual workflow of it, use AI to reduce the manual lift, and then finally keep a human in charge of quality. So overall, is this AI arbitrage real? Yes, but probably not in the way that people are trying to sell it to you. The real version is not push a button and make money from it. The real version is find a painful workflow in an industry that already spends money solving that issue. Use AI to deliver part of that workflow faster or better. Charge for the business outcome, and then review the work like a professional. So that is less exciting than a course pitch, but it is more useful. And if you guys want in the future, I can pick an industry and break down the exact AI workflow that I would test first. Comment the industry you would like me to look at, whether it is dental contractors, accounting, real estate, restaurants, or something else. But if you guys like this kind of content, then please like and subscribe.